Alright, how we doing, boys and girls? Your bull Marcus 10205, numbers after the name. Little Marcus and friends over here, man. We gotta talk some Nintendo, man. Nintendo been blowing up over the past week, yo. This is wild, man. I'm playing this on my new mini Nintendo, man. Nah, I'm just playing. Playing my girl Tina over here. I think I'm on the left and she's on the right. I'm whatever one ends up winning over here. That's pretty much whichever one. That's the one I'm on. Whichever one ends up winning over here. So I want to put up a little Dr. Mario, man, because we got to talk about this little Nintendo that's coming out, the little mini Nintendo, man. It's pretty crazy idea. So if you haven't heard, 30 games packed into a little small Nintendo that, from what I've understood, like the original NES that came out here in the States, from what I've understood, it kind of fits almost to the palm of your hand, like a little bit bigger than that. HDMI hookup, so you can just hook it up right to the HD TV, and you'll be able to use NES controllers with it. Or your classic controller that we've been using, I guess, for the Wii, and I guess it works for the Wii U as well. I'm not really too sure, honestly, but I assume it does. My thoughts on it, and it's $60, $60, yeah. So I think it's a really good deal for starters. There are some negatives, right? Like the big negative is, why can't we have some sort of way of adding more games to it, you know? Why can't this thing be like online enabled so we could add some more games to it? Or why can't, you know, we could like get like another SD card or something and add them on there? I think those are fair points. I clearly think that this isn't Nintendo making another video game system, you know? This isn't Nintendo saying we're going to release all our NES games on this thing. This is Nintendo got it being like, hey man, you know, the holiday's coming up, we don't have a new system, we don't even have games coming out. In all fairness, we didn't have like game. Let's put this out here. It's $60, and we can pump out some units over here, and people will buy it. It'll be a great gift. Honestly, I think it's a great gift for Christmas or you know, for birthday lands around there. I think it's a great gift to get, just you know, in terms of nostalgia, in terms of just entertainment factors. It comes with 30 games, 30 pretty damn good games too, man. And some of them are like a little bit like Super C's on there, but not Contra. The third-party stuff really surprised me a little bit because you know, getting a game off of Konami's hands these days is kind of something I wasn't really expecting to see. You know, it's like, oh, like Konami said they're okay with that. Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. All right, cool. But you know, it's money for everybody. You know, but I'm not sure exactly how much money Nintendo is making when they have to split up with their third partners, whatever. Castlevania, Mega Man 2. So if you haven't played any of those games, I think it's a pretty good way of doing it. Now, if you have, I kind of looked at it, and I probably have half those games on the original NES carts. So I have a Retron too, so I have a little bit of a different aspect of it. And I also like collecting my NES games, so I like having the physical media for it. So I'm not exactly your perfect target audience, but if you simply, for example, want to play Dr. Mario or something, why not? I honestly think it's probably one of the easiest ways to play right now, and the HDMI hookup, that to me is so clutch, you know, because good luck trying now. If you have like an original NES, send that bad boy up and try to make it work over there with some RCA cables or an adapter and whatnot to your HD TV. What I do want to see, though, is some footage from it before I go out and say I'm going to purchase it. Because the emulation on it could be pretty weak. Assuming that it is emulated in some sort of way, or I'm not exactly sure how they would even do it if they're not emulating it. I'm not sure, for example, they would have, like in the old arcade machines, they'd kind of have like tapes. Like, would they have like the games in a little SD card and then we'll run off that, or would these things all be? I'm not exactly sure how that technically is pulled off, but that all will warrant to how it stretches the image and how it adapts it to your screen. If this thing scales pretty well on your HD TV, then I think it's a really dope deal. You know, $60 for that. You could get these controllers. I also want to see another controller. I want to see a lot of stuff that like involves like video games. Like I want to see like the controller length. Like, is it going to be like a wireless controller, for example? That would be pretty dope, right? 2 wireless NES controllers. That's pretty dope, man. I gotta think about it. That's a real cool idea, man. I gotta pat that, yo. That's a good idea. I got these with these long ass extension cords, yo. For as much as I love my wired controllers, you give me that wireless any day, son. So I'm curious about it. I assume there's going to be more details, but, you know, no Nintendo, they're cagey. They might not say anything till, like, you know, the thing comes out in November. They'll be like, yo, I think November 11th comes out. October 27th, they'll have a direct and be like, yeah, by the way, this thing's coming out, and here's how it looks. All right, man. Especially if it's stuff that doesn't favor them. But I'll be curious, you know, maybe they take it back to the drawing board and say, hey, you know what, people wanted some more functionality to add games. Here's what we're going to do, X, Y, and Z. How about a small external hard drive with more games for it, huh? How good would that be, man? But I don't expect them to add any more games to it because, if anything, they'll release another one of these, you know. That's what they'll do, like a NES 2 or a Super NES, you know. I don't think that, because I think what they want is simplicity with this, you know, and tap into that nostalgia easily, you know. No one's going to be scared away from this little NES, right? They're going to see it and be like, oh, this is like an NES, and hey, it's even better. We remember things. It's really interesting how we as humans kind of remember things. We remember things a lot better than they were, you know. We remember that NES being, like, amazing, but it probably wasn't that great if we go back and, like, actually go ahead and try to plug one of those suckers in and use it, man. Yeah, you'd probably be a little bit disappointed in it, you know. I'm being harsh on the NES. I like my NES. I still play it. I still pop in my NES sometimes and play it. For the most part, I will play the games on the Retron if they works and, you know, it's good. I'll play them on the Retron just because it's easier for me to do, right? And I can use my NES controllers, which is a big plus. If the Retron didn't have the original NES, I probably wouldn't have one. I wouldn't play with that crappy ass controller the Retron comes from. Part of the factor is, you know, playing it on that and the aesthetic. And playing with the original controllers or whatnot, or these controllers really feel like it with this new NES is going to be part of the fun with it. Now, talking about nostalgia, man, Nintendo, another one up right there, nostalgia. And this was with Niantic, this was a whole different kind of thing. Google, like, there's a lot of people that got their hands at the Pokemon Go and making it what it is right now. But you can't deny that thing is like storming through everywhere, man. I'm seeing cats left and right catching Pokemon, man. I'll tell you one thing, man. I never knew there was so many women in a Pokemon, man. This is crazy, man. I should have found my wife via Pokemon, yo. I should have been waiting. I should have been single when Pokemon Go came out, man. I heard about Pokemon Go a long time ago, you know, when officially it was like being talked about. And although I liked the idea and I thought, oh, it was pretty novel, I never really gave it much faith, you know. It's kind of, unfortunately, it's kind of how I treat mobile games. It's unfair. I see mobile games as kind of genre that, to me, it's just not me, you know. It's not something that I'm about. And that's 100% my fault, and that's not, you know, that's not exactly how anything should be treated in this world. You gotta give everybody a chance. So when Pokemon Go originally came out here in the States, you know, people were raving about it. They were telling me it was crazy, telling me I was gonna love it, and I was like, yeah, you know what, man, I think I might. I think I'll pass. And like, well, you crazy, man, you gonna love this? And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but probably not. You know, I'm kind of good. My catching Pokemon days are over. You know, I went all the way up to black. You know, in terms of Pokemon, I'm good. I'm done. Then Pokemon Go, I ended up that was free, whatever. I was at work one day and I was like, you know what, man, let me just see what's going on up here, man. Let me check this out real quick. Downloaded it. You know, servers didn't work, all that jazz, but eventually managed to get through. You make a train and all that stuff, and then you start looking around, you know, and it's not really that good of a game per se. But the parts that are good about it are really good about it, you know. So the augmented reality feature of catching the Pokemon is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. I was actually at lunch the other day with my mom, and I was trying to explain to her how it worked. And she was like, well, but they don't really exist, right? And the fact that even, like, at some point you kind of have to explain, they kind of have to think about it, be like, yes, they don't really exist, but damn, do they kind of seem like they exist, right? Like, that's kind of the point we've gotten to, you know. I've taken a picture with, like, a Spearow next to me, and it's cool. And the social features of the game are really, to me, what elevate it. You know, the fact that I'm able to meet people through it and talk to people with it and just bump into other people outside. And the fact that it came out during the summer is genius because we all want to be outside. And now we got a reason to play video games outside. It's a dream come true. Your boy Marcos. Throwback Thursdays. Whatever this is. Deuces.